You can call me Mystic Mike because I predict these things.
Uros Medic takes on Punahele Soriano this Saturday. And this is another one of those interesting matchups on this card. This card's got such weird matchups where I just feel like the odds don't make sense. I initially was thinking Uros Medic when I heard about this fight. He's just a very technical striker. Seems like he's got a lot of power. Very crispy on the feet, very technical. And then you look at Punahele Soriano, who kind of think of him as kind of a brawler type guy. Hawaiian dude, a lot of power, throws a lot of heat, but not the most technical guy, not the most crisp of strikers. Looking at Uros Medic, coming off of a win over Tim Means, with it was just a nasty uppercut. I really like Tim Means, so that was hard to see, but it's Tim Means. He's like 40 years old now, you know. And then I look back, it's Mick oral by neck crank. Before that beats Matthew Semmelsberger, and we saw Matthew Semmelsberger, how he performed in his last fight against Charles Radke. He just looked lost out there. Beats Omar Morales, who's just like, who is Omar Morales in the UFC? Is he going to be anybody? He just seems like kind of a journeyman, one of those, you know, middle of the pack guys. And then you look at Jalen Turner, gets rocked and gets out grappled by Jalen Turner. Before that, Alon Cruz, you know, nothing to write home about, beats Mikey Gonzalez in the Dana White Contender Series. So it's like, yeah, he looks good in the UFC to a degree against not the best competition, in my opinion. And it seems like anytime that he takes a step up in competition, he's getting finished. I look at Punahele Soriano. Dude's fought a lot of good guys. Just came off of a win over Miguel Baeza. Lost to Dustin Solsfus. Dustin Solsfus had a lot of success on the feet. Was getting takedowns against Punahele Soriano. Eventually submitted him. Lost to Roman Kopylov. Kopylov was just beating up the body. Really just taking it to Soriano on that one. Knocks out Dalcha Lungiambula. Loses to Nick Maximov, who's a grappler. Loses to Brendan Allen. That was a fun fight, but I can excuse all of those losses but Nick Maximov. I think the rest of those guys are pretty good. But before that, you know, he's winning first round knockouts. Oscar Pachota, Dusko Todorovic. So I'm looking through his record, and it just seems like Punahele Soriano, he's always been kind of undersized for middleweight. He's a D3 wrestler. He's got good takedowns. He's got a lot of power for the middleweight division too. So his most recent fight against Miguel Baeza, he dropped down to welterweight, which I think he should have been the entire time. He's 5'11", like that's his frame. He's got the perfect frame for welterweight. Power transitions down to welterweight. The guys are smaller. He's able to kind of out wrestle and use a little bit more of his physicality, as we saw in his last fight against Miguel Baeza, where he just dominated the dude grappling wise. And Miguel Baeza, he's been in the game for a long time. He's no slouch when it comes to wrestling defense and jiu-jitsu, things like that. And Punahele just ran through the dude, you know, was beating him up on the ground. Surprised they didn't stop that fight and they let it go to a decision, honestly. So I'm thinking about that. Punahele Soriano, yeah, 50-50 record, losing to decent guys. But he's a middleweight dropping to welterweight. And then I look at Uros Medic. He's getting out grappled by, you know, strikers like Mick oral by. Like, yeah, you could say he's got decent grappling, maybe primarily a striker, but nobody expected him to have the grappling that he had against Medic. And is that because we were sleeping on the grappling, or is that because Medic can't grapple? Before that, Jalen Turner was having a lot of success grappling this guy. And so I'm thinking, you know, he fought Jalen Turner at lightweight and got kind of beat up and out grappled. And then at welterweight, he's getting out grappled by oral by. So what happens when a middleweight coming down to welterweight, who's used to, you know, moving around middleweights, who's now at welterweight against guys his own size, who has a very good wrestling background, what happens when he gets in there with a guy like Uros Medic, who hasn't shown the best wrestling defense in the past few fights, has shown that to be his biggest Achilles heel. I mean, honestly, his only 2 losses are by submission to guys that I wouldn't consider top tier grapplers. So I see in this fight, I see Punahele Soriano coming in, and I see him mixing in his wrestling and really putting a pace on Uros Medic, not letting him stay comfortable on the feet, not letting him be comfortable anywhere honestly, because Medic isn't going to know, is he throwing a big overhand right or is he shooting a double? He's never going to have a chance to rest in this fight. He's going to be getting a lot of heat thrown at him by Soriano on the feet, and he's going to have to be defending takedowns against a collegiate wrestler who's now in a weight class that he can really leverage that skill. So Punahele Soriano, he is the underdog in this one. Uros Medic minus 200 favorite. Punahele plus 165, so not terrible. I just feel like Punahele Soriano has really come into his own. 32 years old, he's in his prime. He's found his weight class. He's coming off of a performance of his career against a tough guy, Miguel Baeza. That was June. So he's had 6 months, 3 months to recover, 3 month training camp. Didn't take this fight on short notice by any means. So I think he's going to be able to put a game plan against Uros Medic. I don't think Uros Medic is going to be able to hurt Soriano on the feet. He's shown to be able to hurt people in the past, but like Tim Means, who again is 40 years old, Semmelsberger, who I think's not the greatest. Like, he's hurting guys that aren't very good. Punahele Soriano is a very tough dude, and he's able to dish it out and take it at 185. I just feel like he's going to be able to handle whatever Medic has coming his way. Like, Medic is a former lightweight. Like, I can't say that enough. Former lightweight. Yeah, he's tall. He's 6'1". He's got a big frame, but Soriano's just a bigger dude. I just feel like he's going to be more aggressive. He's going to be shooting takedowns. He's going to have more threats in this fight, and I think that he's going to be getting his takedowns. His shots are going to be open up his offense on the feet. Going to be landing the more damaging blows against Medic, and I think that he gets this one done. I think that he pulls out the underdog win in this one. Not sure if he gets the finish. I could see him ground and pounding out Medic. I feel like Medic can get hurt pretty easily, get worn down if you get him on the ground. Wouldn't be shocked if he got a submission either. He doesn't have a lot of submissions on his record. He's got, one or two back in the day, but he's primarily a guy who's looking to throw hands. So I'm thinking Punahele Soriano can probably get the TKO in this one, but I'm going to go with decision more than likely for this one. Thanks.